1956. A bathroom shelf with 3 items on it: a jar of Pond's cold cream, a bottle of witch hazel, and 1 lipstick. The woman who owns that shelf is 53 years old. Her skin is flawless. You have 37 products and a 10-step routine. Nobody taught you what she knew because the women who knew stopped being asked. What they knew was replaced, very deliberately, with something you could be sold instead. 15 tricks. Standard practice in American homes for the better part of the 20th century. Every one of them worked. Every one of them cost almost nothing. Everyone was quietly retired, not because something better came along, but because something more expensive did. And every year you spend rebuilding a routine from scratch is another year someone profits from you not knowing this. Number 12 is a trick Audrey Hepburn's makeup artist used with a common sewing pin. Number 1 is the rule that cost 50 cents and gave a woman something no serum has matched since. This is that channel. Let's get into it. Number 15. Every night before bed, she unscrewed the lid from a white porcelain jar of Pond's cold cream. The smell was faintly medicinal, clean, cool on the fingertips. She worked it in small upward circles, jawline to temples, then tissued it off in long, slow sweeps. The tissue came away gray with the day's dust and makeup. The face underneath was clean, soft, and cool. Theron T. Pond first sold cold cream in 1846, extracting a healing compound from witch hazel bark. By 1952, a jar cost 35 cents. Noxzema, launched in 1914, had a medicinal eucalyptus tingle, women described as the smell of clean. 1 step, 1 jar. The mineral oil dissolved the makeup. The cream left a thin lipid barrier overnight, the same mechanism a $65 cleansing balm claims today. Number 14. Witch hazel, the 25-cent toner. After cold cream came witch hazel, cold from the bottle. A cotton pad pressed to the face and neck. The pores closed, inflammation settled, residual oil lifted, all without stripping the skin. Dickinson's witch hazel had been in American pharmacies since 1866. A bottle cost $0.25. The hamamelis plant it is distilled from contains tannins, gallic acid and catechins, natural astringents, and antioxidants. Every pore-minimizing toner sold today contains some version of the same compounds, alongside synthetic preservatives and a $35 price tag. She patted it on cold, let it dry, and was done. Dickinson still sells for under $8. The formula has not changed since 1866. Number 13. Vaseline. 1 jar, 5 uses. A jar of Vaseline petroleum jelly in 1955 cost 19 cents and lasted 6 months. She dabbed it onto her lashes before bed, a coat so thin it was almost nothing. After 2 weeks, the lashes were longer. She smoothed a small amount across her brows to keep them shaped. Before leaving the house, she tapped a fingertip onto the high point of her cheekbone over powder. The dewy finish photographers called luminous. Joan Crawford kept a jar on every vanity in her house. Betty Davis used it nightly on her lids. The industry's answer was an $18 eye cream, a $22 brow gel, a $30 lip treatment, and a $24 highlighter. The jar did not change. The marketing did. A jar of Vaseline still costs $4. Number 12. The safety pin separator. Alberto de Rossi was Audrey Hepburn's makeup artist on Roman Holiday in 1953. He created the look that defined a generation: wide, dark, perfectly separated lashes that made her eyes read like something painted. His tool was not a lash comb. It was a common sewing pin from the notions drawer. After applying mascara, he drew the tip of the pin sideways through each individual lash, one at a time, fanning them apart. No clumps, no buildup at the tips. Each lash cleaned the root. Women went home and did it themselves. Steady hand, pin close to the mirror, eyes wide open. Their daughters sat in the doorway and memorized every move. The best beauty tool of that era came from a sewing box and required only patience, which has never been packaged and never been sold. Number 11. In 1914, Thomas Lyle Williams watched his sister Mabel applying a mixture of coal dust and Vaseline to her lashes. He developed the idea, combined her name with the word Vaseline, and built a company. The original product was a flat cake of compressed black pigment in a case the size of a pocket watch. You wetted a fine brush, drew it across the cake, and built the lashes stroke by deliberate stroke. Maybelline's Velvet Black. One lash at a time. That cake lasted months. When it ran low, you bought a refill, not a new product, a refill cake that dropped into the same case. The wand and tube replaced it in the 1960s. It was impossible to refill, and it was designed to dry out in 90 days. She had a relationship with her mascara. The industry replaced that relationship with a disposal schedule. Number 10. Max Factor developed Pancake Foundation in 1935 for Technicolor film. Studio lights washed every existing makeup gray on screen. His solution was a compressed cake, applied with a damp sea sponge. One pass, flawless. Women were stealing it from Hollywood sets before it reached the public. The color harmony system matched your foundation, powder, rouge, and lipstick to your natural coloring, including blonde, brunette, redhead, and brownette. A specific set of shades already chosen for you. One compact, one sponge. 2 minutes. The system was retired in the 1950s. Today, she stands in a drugstore facing 400 foundation shades with no chart and no guidance. The confusion is worth more to the industry than the answer ever was. Number 9. The Egg White and Honey Mask. 1 egg white, beaten stiff. 1 teaspoon of raw honey, mixed in a teacup, applied with the fingers. 15 minutes, rinsed with cold water. The egg white tightens as it dries. You feel the skin contracting, the pores closing, the surface smoothing. The honey draws moisture from the air directly into the skin, under 10 cents. Women did this on Saturday mornings while their hair was in curlers, sitting at the kitchen table with a stiff white face, reading the paper, waiting. When the edges dried hard, they rinsed cold. The mirror showed a face that looked 5 years younger. The egg white and honey have not changed. Only the decision to use them did. If there is a woman in your life spending $200 a month on skincare and wondering why it isn't working, a daughter, a sister, a friend, hit the like button right now. 1 second. It gets this video in front of her. She needs this more than she knows. Then stay, because number 1 is the rule that cost 50 cents and outlasted everything the industry built to replace it. Number 8, rose water, the 20-cent serum. A bottle of rose water from the pharmacy cost 20 cents in 1954. Applied with a cotton pad morning and night, it served as toner, antioxidant treatment, and anti-inflammatory serum in one. Rose water contains phenylethanol and flavonoids, the same antioxidant mechanism vitamin C serums claim at $80 a bottle, in a less stable form. She spritzed it on at the sink. The scent of roses filled the bathroom for 1 moment. Then it was quiet. The routine was over. Her grandmother used 3 products. Her skin looked better at 70. That is not nostalgia. That is the record. Number 7, the lemon brightener. Fresh lemon juice diluted with equal parts water is applied to dark spots with a cotton pad. It is left on and not rinsed. Rita Hayworth, whose Columbia Pictures contract required her hair to be a specific shade of auburn at all times, coated her hair with coconut oil, left it for 15 minutes, then rinsed with water mixed with lemon juice. Citric acid sealed the cuticle and brightened the color in 1 step. On skin, citric acid acts as a mild alpha hydroxy acid, the same ingredient now sold in $65 laboratory bottles. The lemon cost a nickel. The chemistry was identical. Number 6, Joan Crawford's ice basin. Every morning, Joan Crawford filled a porcelain basin with cold water and ice cubes and submerged her face for 30 seconds. She did that every day for 40 years. Cold causes vasoconstriction, so puffiness contracts and inflammation drops. As the face warms, blood rushes back with oxygen. Awake, flushed, taut. Under a minute. Dermatologists call this cryotherapy and charge $200 per session. Joan Crawford paid 15 cents for a bag of ice. She lifted the tray from the freezer. 30 seconds. The face that came up was ready for anything. Number 5. 100 brush strokes. Every women's magazine from 1920 to 1960 carried the same advice. 100 brush strokes before bed. A natural boar bristle brush, not nylon, not plastic. The bristles moved the scalp's own sebum from root to tip, coating each strand with the oil it had already made. She sat at the vanity and counted. 57, 58. The warm pull of the brush through her hair, a sheen that no silicone product has since matched, because no product can replicate what the scalp makes, and a brush distributes by hand. Ladies' Home Journal printed this every spring. Grandmother passed the brush down when the handle wore smooth. 10 minutes of stillness at the end of a long day. The best beauty routines of that era doubled as rest. That was wisdom that cost nothing and left nothing to sell. Number 4, Milk of Magnesia as primer. Philip's Milk of Magnesia had been sold as a digestive aid since 1880. By the 1950s, women were quietly applying a thin layer under their foundation and saying nothing to the cosmetics industry about it. One thin coat dried in 30 seconds and created an oil-free surface that held powder and foundation for hours. Fashion photographers used it on models for full-day shoots. Magnesium hydroxide absorbs oil and closes pores without clogging them. The primer category arrived in stores in the early 2000s. The industry built a $1.2 billion market out of something that had existed since 1880, cost 40 cents, and was already in every medicine cabinet in America. Number 3. Calamine for blemishes. A dab of calamine lotion, pink, chalky, cooling on contact, applied to a blemish before bed. Left overnight, not touched, gone by morning or reduced to something powder could cover. Zinc oxide and ferric oxide dry the blemish, reduce inflammation, and kill surface bacteria. 4 cents a bottle in 1955. The spot treatment market today is worth over $2 billion annually, built on the same mechanism that Calamine has performed since the 1800s. She dotted it on. Then she left it alone. That second part, leaving it alone, is the half no product can sell. So no product mentions it. It remains the most effective part of the treatment. 2. Elizabeth Arden launched 8-Hour Cream in 1930. The original request came from a client using the formula on her racehorses for saddle sores and chafing. Arden took the petrolatum base with salicylic acid, put it in a tube, and gave it a name. By 1950, it was on every well-kept bathroom shelf in America. Lip treatment, overnight dry patch corrector, cuticle softener, burn remedy, hand cream. 1 tube. Women carried it alongside their lipstick. The formula has not changed significantly in 90 years because it has not been improved upon. Women who started using it in 1952 still buy the same tube. $22. For the 6 products it replaces, nothing comes close. The horse did not know what it started. Number 1. The lipstick rule. Never leave the house without lipstick, not a suggestion, a rule. Passed woman to woman, never written down, understood, before it needed to be explained. Revlon's Fire and Ice launched in 1952. Max Factor's Real Red sat at every Woolworth's counter, a gold tone tube that twisted up with a small mechanical click, applied at the hallway mirror, blotted once on a folded tissue, a perfect lip print left behind like a signature. Elizabeth Taylor wore Max Factor Red through every decade of her career. Marilyn Monroe wore Revlon Red on the nights that mattered most. Your grandmother wore whatever Woolworths carried in her shade. She reapplied it after coffee, after lunch, at the school door. The brand was irrelevant. The principle was not. You did not walk out of your house unfinished. The lipstick was the last decision before the door opened. The The one that said without a word, "I am here. I am ready." I thought enough of this day to show up for it. That tube cost 50 cents. What it gave her was worth everything. 15 tricks. Not one of them required a subscription box or a 10-step routine. Cold cream, witch hazel, a lemon, a safety pin, a woman who trusted what her mother already knew. These routines were not replaced because something better arrived. They were replaced because something more expensive did. 2 questions before you go. First, which of these did your mother or grandmother actually use? Second, which one are you trying this week? Write both in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe if you haven't already. This channel is free. It will always be free. Hit the bell so the next video finds you. I will see you there.